Hello, friends. The 1144th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Over the weekend, for the first time in a long time, an advance of Russian troops was recorded in the Sumy region. The village of Yablunivka was captured. An advance was also noted in the Verkhnokamianske area, the military telegram channel Deep State reported. At the same time, in Kindrativka, Sumy region, part of the Russian control zone, became gray. That is, the Ukrainian armed forces launched a counterattack there, recaptured some of their positions, but have not yet consolidated their positions. In the Kharkiv border area, Russian forces advanced in the Dehtiarne area. Earlier, Moscow announced the capture of Dehtiarne in the Kharkiv region on the border. Ukraine did not confirm this. The Russians are also expanding their bridgehead in Myrnohrad, reaching Kupiansk and Dehtiarne. This is confirmed by a Ukrainian officer with the call sign Alex. According to him, the enemy has already entered the settlements of Kupiansk and Dehtiarne. Further advances for the Russians are now problematic. They cannot consolidate their positions, but the very fact of such a situation is not encouraging, writes Alex. The Ukrainian military also writes about the enemy's increased activity near Vovchansk. Ukrainian military officer Bunyatov believes that the Russian army has opened another offensive line in the Kharkiv region with the aim of drawing off reserves of the Ukrainian armed forces from the Kupiansk direction. He does not specify where exactly the Russians launched a new attack. In general, the situation is not very favorable for us, he writes. The large length of the border allows the enemy to carry out such actions almost along the entire line. Such fires, due to the lack of reserves, have to be extinguished point-wise, attracting the forces of the brigades that are already carrying out combat missions directly at the front, Bunyatov writes. In the Kramatorsk direction, Russian troops advanced towards Siversk from Verkhnokamianske. Near Kostiantynivka, the Russians took up new positions near Popov Yar, the Deep State map shows. At the same time, a fighter with the call sign Myrnohrad writes that the settlement has already come under enemy control. According to him, our troops have retreated to more convenient positions. It has become dangerous to be in the village, especially under the pressure of FPV drones and artillery. There are no reliable shelters left there. In the area of Yablunivka, there is currently heavy contact. The enemy is already in the middle of the village. They came from the southeast and broke through closer to the center. Our fighters are still holding part of the village, but they are being pressured from the flanks and through the plantings. The enemy does not yet have complete control over Yablunivka. We are also holding Oleksandro Kalinovi. The enemy is sitting in the greenery and climbing in small groups, trying to find a hole. There is constant reconnaissance in force and intense shelling. On the eastern flank, the enemy captured the village of Bila Hora, our military reports. Yesterday, the Russian Ministry of Defense announced the capture of this village. At the same time, Ukraine has not officially confirmed the capture of the village. On the map of the Ukrainian military telegram channel Deep State, it is marked as controlled by the armed forces of Ukraine. Control over Bila Hora is important in terms of the battle for Kostiantynivka, which provides an approach to the city from another direction. Also, the capture of this village will create a threat from the southern flank to the garrison of the armed forces of Ukraine, which is defending Chasiv Yar. To the east of Myrnohrad, the Russians have advanced near Novoekonomichne. Ukrainian military writes that the Russians have already entered the outskirts of this village, which covers the approaches to Myrnohrad. According to fighter Myrnohrad, the enemy has entered the eastern and southeastern outskirts of Novoekonomichne and is trying to break through closer to the center, but so far without full control. Positional battles are underway. Shelling does not stop day or night. On the line of Krasnyi Lyman, battles are underway for the eastern part of the settlement, where the enemy periodically throws reconnaissance groups but cannot gain a stable foothold. Myrnohrad writes that the risk of a breakthrough to Rodynska, which is located on a key route, is growing, since the Russians are pressing from several sides at once. The enemy is advancing from Suvorove, through the plantings between Krasnyi Lyman and the Rodynska mine, plus it is exerting pressure from the southeast from the Novoekonomichne district. There are currently local battles for the fields and technical structures of the mine. The enemy is trying to break our defensive line and advance to Myrnohrad through the mines and forest belts, Muchnoy writes. Meanwhile, in the south of Pokrovsk in recent days, according to our military, there has been high activity of sabotage and reconnaissance groups of the enemy. But we will talk about this in more detail in the next video. Subscribe to the channel, do not forget to like or dislike, and please leave your comments.
Friends, I want to develop and strive for higher quality content, but my 2009 computer does not allow me to do this. If you have the opportunity to help me buy a new computer and make my dream come true, I will be very grateful to you. You will find the link in the description under the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.